Alright, so today I want to talk about a character in the original Code Veronica that I think will definitely see some major changes in some way to the kind of overall development of his character throughout the remake, and that is Steve. Now, straight out of the gate, I'm not a big fan of the character. I'm not a big fan of the game. I think I've said that a few times anyway, but I appreciate why people like the game, and I can see the reasons behind it needing a remake more than most. But with that, I don't like the character. I think the major plot points he has are good, like with his dad, and then with him kind of meeting his end at the end of the game. But, you know, other than that, I don't think the character's very good at all. I think he's annoying and just there for some reason. I feel like if you didn't have him in the game and had it more focused around specifically Claire and Chris, it would make no difference. But here he is anyway, and I think if they're going to keep him in, which they're most likely going to, he needs some significant changes, and I just kind of want to give my general thoughts on the character, which will also kind of blend with my thoughts on the game and how I think the kind of shift in tone will happen with this game, similarly to the 4 remake and to a lesser extent the original 3. So yeah, let's go to it. So I think the kind of main thing with these games, especially the remakes now, is the tonal shift. I think it's a lot more noticeable with the 4 remake, considering how cheesy, I suppose, the original RE4 is. And a lot of that is removed. There is still some of it in there, and there is new kind of jokes and stuff like that. But for the most part, the 4 remake is a lot more serious and a lot more grounded. And obviously, you know, Resident Evil 4, the original Resident Evil 4, sorry, it was a thing of its time. And to the same vein, so is this. Still very cheesy. A lot of the original games, and even the newer games, again, in some ways, are very similar to, like, your kind of normal B-movie, horror type movies where, yeah, they're horror films, but throughout them, there's always goofy stuff that happens, and I think that's not as frequent in the new games and in the remakes, but in the older games, it was definitely a thing that was very present, and I think a lot of that in this game is down to Steve, especially in, like, the first bulky part of the game. Because pretty much when you first meet him, he's annoying, he doesn't really help, he kind of does his own thing, is a bit cocky and stuff like that, and that does kind of change over the course of the game, and it does get more bearable as the game goes on. But again, with like the fundamental shift in tone the remakes have, and the new games have, I think it's going to be a lot less like that with the remake. I think it'll probably still have some of his charm. I mean, characters in remakes still keep a lot of what they used to be from the original games. Look at Luis from the 4 remake, and even Leon in the 4 remake to an extent. Like, they still have that cockiness and that like cheesy one-liner moment in the game. They all do, but with him, it just, to me, went a bit too far. And it's a shame, because again, the main kind of story beats for the character are really good, you know, with his dad and like with what happens to him over the course of the game. It's good, but the character, man, just, I don't know, it needs changing in some way. Whether they do that or not, I don't know. I don't think he's going to be cut from the game completely. He's just a big part of the game now, so having him cut from the game is just ridiculous. But, yeah. My only real kind of things I think of that they could do is obviously give him more playable sections. He is playable in the original Code Veronica, so give him more playable sections, make him a bit more kind of relatable, I suppose. Give him a bit more depth, not just like the story bit with his dad and stuff, but maybe go into more detail around his character, and have him be a bit more kind of serious, I suppose. And I think they'll definitely kind of improve the character and make him a bit more kind of, well, make him better than what he is in the original game, because yeah, I'm not a fan. So yeah, it's a quick one today, but I do kind of want to mention like a couple of characters I think we'll definitely see some kind of shift in how they kind of behave in the remake, and I think he's definitely one of them. The next one is coming tomorrow, and I think the next one is for a completely different reason than the one with Steve, but I think it's more on the controversial side rather than the personal annoyance side. But yeah, leave your thoughts on Steve's character down below. Do you want to see him change? Do you want to see him cut? Or do you want to keep him the same? Do let me know. But thank you for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one.